Howdy everyone, this is LockNutz,
And Taz.
and you're watching episode 4 of the Teaming Up series on Adelshoven. Hopefully you'll stick around to see what happens. Howdy, howdy, howdy. How are you guys doing today? Holy cats. We are out here doing a little bit of contract work, and Taz is running away from me. Oh, man. So this episode here is starting or taking place pretty much right after our last one. Had a little bit of time in between here, but Taz and I both have an opportunity to get together and rock and roll. I'll just go forward a little bit here. No, you're right. There we go. And we're rocking and rolling, knocking out a couple contracts, doing our things. Taz, I'll take this to Landhandle, which is where this has to go, and we'll meet back at the shop then.
Okay.
Or not the shop,
That's
the farm.
The fun of working on this type of cycle.
Yes, I know, that is cool. I personally have never gone ahead and harvested on something that steep before. I'm not gonna lie, Taz, I was a little afraid, and I'm kind of glad you took the reins on that one. Oh,
Well,
man.
the brakes on the harvester are not that great. So I couldn't stop until it stopped. Then you see me.
Yeah, well, there's nothing you can do about that. One of the things that Taz and I were talking about, 'cause speaking of the harvester here, we know that harvester, it's not the biggest harvester, it's not the most powerful harvester that's out there, but it's a decent starting. And what we'd like to go ahead and do here is eventually upgrade. The thing is that we don't necessarily know exactly what we'd like to get. We'd like to have a smaller harvester, nothing super big or anything like that, but a decent one. So I'm going to throw this out to everybody. If you can, comment down below. Help Taz and I out. If you don't want to help me out, help Taz out at least. Help him out. Let us know if you guys know of any harvesters that are out there that would work out really well for us. We've taken a look at a couple of them. Not sure which way we're going. I'll go this way. We're not. I actually have to take a look at the map. I thought I knew where I was. Okay, I know where I am now. Stand down. Stand down. Yeah, we've taken a look at a couple of them. But we're also curious to see what you guys have to say, because we're really kind of actually having a hard time trying to decide where we want to go next, harvester wise, that is. Like I said, we're not looking for something really big. We're swerving all over the place. We're not looking for something that 100,000 liters, 50,000 liters, nothing like that. Just kind of a nice, decent, small harvester. That's kind of what we're looking for. Color doesn't matter. I'd prefer red, but I don't know. We'll see about that. Taz, I guess what colors on here for harvesters do you think look the best?
That's a good question again.
Yeah,
I'm not tied up to the color of the harvester or the brand.
I gotcha. I actually had an opportunity to talk with this young kid that I'm working with. He and a buddy of his are they're starting to buy up some equipment, older equipment, and they want to get into the making hay business. They're actually working for somebody else's farm right now. They're wanting to branch off on their own. We started talking about different tractors, different vehicles, the different brands that are available out there. Him and the people that he's associate with are very big New Holland people. That's just what they get, so you see that all over the place. we were kind of
Well,
talking, and one thing that we did agree upon was that the Kloss color scheme actually is pretty slick.
yeah, the class color scheme went as we have now a little bit later than they have started with. At first, there was like the dark silver color or just a gray shiny color, and after they got complaints from the farmers that it's blinding them in the fields, they decided to change that up.
Huh. Son of a gun.
That's what I remember hearing from some videos I watched.
That does make a lot of sense. I definitely think they made the right choice. That's just me personally. I think the color scheme, if you were to have any tractor, either that green that they use, that white that they use, or cream, whatever you want to call it, or that red that they use, I think it has the potential to be kind of a gawky or kind of an ugly looking thing, but I don't know what it is. Just kind of the way it gets put together, it really does look pretty neat. That's just me, like I said.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just a matter of service you can get fastest on your area you're working in.
That's exactly it. Like myself, I live near a John Deere manufacturing plant, so there's a lot of John Deere dealers around. I live near sorry, toss that in there. I live near a case manufacturing plant. Actually, one of their major headquarters, not the major headquarters, but one of their major headquarters. So we have a lot of case stuff around as well. It's just the way it is. Now, I have never seen in my life a New Holland dealer. I've never seen a Kloss dealer, or really anything else other than just John Deere and case, and that's it. But again, that like you were saying, it really just depends on the service and all that stuff. What is available to work on?
Yeah, so you could take the shot and buy like Class or New Holland on your farm, but it would take ages to get the service to get to you when it's time to do that.
That's exactly it.
If that's a brand new thing, or getting parts for you would take ages.
That's
and it's your downtime of your work hours you have.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I think that's why when I was younger, and I thought that, okay, you have a tractors that you use on farm, John Deere, that's it. There's nothing else. I didn't know there were the other brands, and I think that's exactly why. Is because John Deere was so prevalent. It was there, and he had all the mechanical arms of this beast there. You have the salesmen, you have the mechanics, you have the infrastructure, the parts, everything's there to be able to do this stuff. I guess that's why I would always see that. Now, Taz, when you were younger, or even now, what are you used to kind of seeing out in the fields? Is it kind of a hodgepodge, or is there one brand that kind of stands out more than anything else?
I think it's more like John Deere and Case, being most of the tractors around and stuff.
Huh.
Around my area.
That's interesting, because
Like, you can see other brands, but the main thing is those two.
okay. Yeah, to me that's kind of interesting, just because of, I know where your location is. I would have figured there would have been other brands, but again, that I think is me just kind of being slightly ignorant, not realizing that John Deere, yes, it's an American company. Case, yes, it's an American company, but it's a global industry. You can take a look at some of the mods even here. I don't know if we have a great variety as of right now, but if you look at like FS19 right at the very end, before 22 came out, you've seen all these different mods that were John Deere. You had like the Brazil version, the European version, you had a Russian version, the US version, all these different versions out And it
Yeah,
would,
the New Holland is kind of big too, but like take Kubota that is coming up to the game. I can kind of see it's coming up to Lithuania here, but
okay.
it's not that common like you would have used the big brands.
Yeah. That's kind of funny because since you say that, I actually, for the first time in probably about, I'd say 4 or 5 years, something like that, I actually seen one. Just coming home from work today, I seen one driving on the road. Son, I don't remember seeing this. Here they go ahead and they mention it on the DLC that's going to be coming out, and oh, right there, I just passed one. Would have never thought it.
Kind of thing when you have note or you have to know about the brand or specific model, and you start seeing that around.
Exactly. Exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. So, guys, I think what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to table this conversation for a little bit. But I think Taz and I are going to get ourselves ready. We're going to head out to that field, take care of our next contract, and we'll kind of go from there. Oh, yeah, perfect. I was just to collect that contract, so we got $705 for that one. Perfect. That's awesome. Just like we kind of talked about in the last episode, we had done all of our work on the farm that we're set up to be doing. So now it's time to just get a little bit of that icing on the cake, do a little bit of stuff for us, earn a couple extra bucks, just so the day's not wasted. And what better way to do that? Do a little bit of harvesting and doing a little bit of plowing. Well, guys, as Taz goes ahead and finishes up on that last little run, we've completed that contract. I'll go in and collect it here for us, Taz.
Okay.
Perfect. Got it collected. $500. Gotta love it. You want to lead us back home?
Okay.
So if you guys noticed in there, I started going ahead and plowing, and I had to stop and go backwards and whatnot. Well, Taz told me I was doing it wrong. So, again, it's good to be able to team up with somebody who knows a little bit more about actual farming than I do, or even just generally playing the game farming than I do. It really is kind of neat to have that on there. And it was one of those things, what were you saying, Taz? This particular plow, it's not really set up to be doing what I was doing, where it's trying to go up and down right next to each other. Is that correct?
Yeah. It's not turnable plow that you could go with the same side all the time.
Okay. And that's what you would end up having to
You
do.
actually have to think about how you do it.
And what you're talking about is the plow, like it's facing, well, if we're looking, you guys are looking at it here, it's kind of from right to left, going close to the tractor and slowly moving away from the tractor. What we're talking about here are the plows that can actually pick up and kind of halfway rotate themselves around. I know they have them on here, and I'm actually going to go ahead as we're sitting here for which Taz keeps on going. He'll get there before me. We're talking about like these type of plows here, where you have the ridges or the plow section, blades, I should say, on both the top and bottom. Those ones are the reversible ones where it can flip around back and forth. And what you're saying, Taz, is that those are the only ones where you can really go. You plow in one section, you move over like 3 feet, start plowing again. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Well, that's good to know. And for me, and just speaking about that, is it's well, I guess Taz was saying this, that when you're going ahead and plowing, you really do have to think about stuff, and that goes to say with a lot of the farm equipment on here. Like I could go out into this field right here next to us, put the plow down, and do donuts out there, and the game's going to allow us to do that. Reality, you're going to break something. It's just the reality of the situation. It is pretty neat though to be able to pick up little tips and tricks and little doodads like that. I'm just taking a look at the time here. It's starting to get a little bit later on in the day. I'm going to look at the contracts really quick. I'm not saying we're doing any. I just want to take a quick little peek at them. I know there's some small fertilizing contracts. I know there's some more plowing contracts, but you know what? I think what we're probably going to end up doing here, driving off the road here. I think what we're probably going to end up doing here is getting ourselves ready, washing our machines off, tucking our tractors in bed for the night, and we're probably going to go ahead and catch up with you guys tomorrow. Well, beginning of a new month. Kind of exciting if you ask me. Good morning, everyone. How the heck are you guys doing this morning? It's a great day. Sun's a shining. Grapevines are dead. Oh, you gotta love it. Gotta love it. So we're out here using the vine harvesting mod that we used to go ahead and harvest our grapes. And now we're out here rocking and rolling and pruning them back, trimming them, making them nice and neat so that we can go ahead and get a little extra grape action later on. I am taking a look at this. It is saying we are going to need to plow this, Taz. So I don't remember. Did we mulch first last time and then plow, or what was it? What made more sense to do? I don't remember.
The grass is already at mulch stage. It's short now, so we can go with subsoilers.
Okay, so we'll probably end up having to get our little super tigers out here and rock and roll those things then. Okay. Sounds good. We also, this morning, Taz noticed, with quite a bit of excitement, mind you, that we have a couple pallets that are ready to go. Try to remember, we had a couple pallets of raisins, couple pallets of grape juice, and I think it was from our garden. Was it strawberries, Taz?
Yeah.
Perfect.
It was strawberries.
Perfect. So we got all that stuff we can go ahead and sell coming up here. Let me just take a quick little peek. How are we doing on prices with this stuff? Strawberries, not bad. I don't know what the strawberry prices are normally. Okay, so right now we're not at very good prices. It's almost at the very bottom. But, I think holding on to this stuff, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be helpful at this point. We're going to be able to make a ton of money off of a lot of different things, so I'm not too worried about it. And I don't know about you, Taz. Are you thinking we're going to want to go ahead and make cakes or anything else like that we're going to need strawberries for, or what are you thinking?
No, I think we can sell them. Like the cake would take a lot of stuff to get to make it.
That's
That at the moment But at the moment we don't have at all.
Yeah, exactly what you're saying there. That's kind of what I was thinking with all of that, because we don't have the stuff to do it. We're nowhere near a point where we can even think about making cake or anything like that. So that doesn't even make any sense. I guess I feel foolish
Yeah.
for asking it. Hopefully you won't think less of me, but if you do, I'll understand
Do
completely.
you do you remember the recipe for the cake at all?
Um, I think it's eggs, sugar, strawberries, flour, maybe milk. I don't. I think that's what it is. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
I've
I can't
never
remember
done.
from the top of my head. But
Yeah,
like flour and sugar, that would take ages for us to get, and we still don't have chickens for the eggs.
exactly, exactly. I should say. Um, when it comes to doing the cakes, cakes and the cereal, cakes. Go stick with cakes, I guess, for the second. I don't know if it's necessarily worth it when you go ahead. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. When you go ahead and take a look at the productions, you take something like cakes, where it is there's a lot of ingredients that go into it, and cakes you need to do a lot of stuff before you can actually get the cakes versus making flour. Now, making flour requires very little effort, energy, or anything like that. You just throw your grains in there, and there you go. Done. Move on to the next thing. And you actually go through the flour. Your production items can actually go through the flour very quickly. I was thinking about this, and one way to go ahead and essentially make stuff as efficient as possible, because you're only going to be able to put so much flour into your bakery to make your cakes and all of that jazz. As you go up the list or the chain of whatever it is you're working on in the production chain, you almost need to have one grain mill, one sugar mill, and that's it. And then whatever the next step is or the next process is, you almost need to have two or three of those, just because of how slow they go through everything. Um, so for that being said, myself personally, I don't know how much you've jumped into this, Taz, but I personally don't really do too much with the advanced things like the bakeries. Maybe I'll make some bread or something like that, but that's it. I've never even touched a cereal factory. How about you, Taz? Have you really jumped into any of that stuff? Have you really looked at it or anything?
No, I haven't tried to make a cakes or cereal. I think I did made uh, butter and cheese
Okay.
from dairy or and I guess that's it. And then it goes for the greenhouses.
Okay.
That's the most stuff I do.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, the greenhouses are easy to maintain at least.
No, I mean that makes sense. Guys, we actually forgot our vehicles, so we might as well get ourselves walking back over there, and we take a look at some of this stuff. But yeah, I mean that's one of those things, and I guess comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, or what you guys have done. Have you guys gone ahead and really tried to do anything with those? We'll call it advanced production stuff. Okay, I didn't want to run away from Taz there, because like I said, to you guys, does it make sense? I understand you can make a lot more money. The clothing, the furniture, all that stuff. You can make a lot more money off of that, but because it processes so slow, it's almost one of those things. Does it make sense to go about doing, or does it make more sense to just make your flour, make your fabrics, anything like that? Does it make sense to go about doing that? How's the field looking there, Taz?
It's looking great.
Perfect. I love it. It looked like a good field when we first put it in, so I'm pretty excited about that. Um,
Hmm.
I'm
Thinking
just
if this is like a creek or a river going through.
I'm not sure. I don't want to get wet feet, so I'm going to walk around over this way and take the little bridge. Or the shallow part, whatever you want to call it. Um, yeah, I mean, I I think there might be two schools of thought on this. Oh, perfect. We got a couple pallets of honey over here too. I forgot about those. A couple pallets of honey. There's our pallet of strawberries, and then we have grape juice and raisins. Son of a gun, it's working out for us. It really is working out for us. I guess the school of thought is, what do you go about doing? Do you fill up? Let's say we're dealing with bread, because I remember that one pretty easy. Do you guys go ahead and get your flour? I should say, make your flour, fill the bakery up with flour as much as you can get, and then after that, you just start selling it? Or do you just hold on to it and stockpile and just continue to do it? Because for me, it's one of those things that I don't know how we want to go about doing this. What do we want to do? Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know. I'm not sure what you guys think about it. How do you feel about it? It's one of those little mysteries. I should say, mysteries of the game that I know I haven't really dabbled in yet. Taz hasn't dabbled in yet, so I don't know. I figure I'd go ahead and ask you guys. I think what we're going to go ahead and do is, as you guys can probably see, we'll go ahead and get this all loaded up here. We'll get this all loaded up here. We'll probably get up there, start rocking and rolling with our stuff, and I know we're going to catch up with you. I'm not sure when, but it's going to happen, so stay calm, stay classy, and we'll be with you in a little bit. I'm going to double check this really quick. Is this... It's those two sides down right there. Perfect. So if you guys are wondering what we're doing here, what was that, Taz?
I was thinking if I said that we taking down this tree or not. Yeah, we were talking about.
It's falling down. It's in the water.
Into the lake.
Oh, so if you guys are wondering what we're doing, if you're wondering if things have changed just a little bit, well, they have. Taz and I were sitting here and talking. And there's this chunk of land that was behind us, right here, wide open. Now, we're doing fine right now for space and storage for everything, but we have bales just kind of in places where they're really not supposed to be. So we want to kind of make a dedicated space for that. And one of the ways that we can go about doing that is removing our barn. Cutting down some trees and making a good spot for storage, I guess is a good way to say it. And that's what we're doing right now. We're going to cut down a couple things here, cut down a couple trees, kind of clear this area out of here. And then after that, we'll go ahead and get everything kind of put where we need to go. We're kind of in that spot where there's just not a lot of stuff for us to... Look at that tree going down. I think if you guys haven't done this before and you have the opportunity to, like I said, play with somebody else, it's funny just to go ahead and sit here and watch, and the next thing you know, oh, there's a tree just going down like magic. It's different when you're there cutting the tree down, you see it go down, and you're doing it yourself, but when it's somebody else, it's actually pretty funny, if you ask me. That's a big tree over there. I think I'll come over and start debranching these just to help move the process along a little bit. Shoot. Oh my gosh, I am just struggling here, Taz. It's not cutting the branches off. I wonder... No, this is all our property. Some big trees. Well, I'm not sure what's going on. Let me try this tree over here.
There's one that doesn't want to be cut. That kind of looks like a bush.
Okay. It very could be that the tree is potentially slightly underground, so we're not able to cut the particular areas. I don't know.
I think we're still gonna have to take the forest mulcher to get rid of the plant.
Yeah, this is weird. It's cutting off. It's not debranching everything, Taz. It's actually just kind of... I don't know. It's just not debranching it. Well, I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to make a fatal mistake, and I'm going to cut the spot where I'm standing. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm cutting the branches under the tree.
Oh, gosh. Oh man. So I guess our thought is, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get this stuff cut up. We'll throw it in our trailer there and just probably just take it off and sell it. I mean, I don't really see. Ooh, man, that was close. Taz almost lost a leg. I don't really see much of a reason for us to go crazy with a lot of this stuff. Trying to wood chip it necessarily at this point. Maybe in the future, wood chipping might be something we'd end up doing on some forestry or anything like that. We're always going to kind of keep our eyes open to see if there's any good mods out there. Forestry or farming, it doesn't matter to us. Gosh, kind of scared. Kind of like that, what was that one? That, the firewood mod. That was kind of a neat little thing that we had. It brought a different flavor to everything that we were doing. It's not that bad. Jeez, that just going to the ground right there. That's way bigger than I thought it was. Yikes. Oh well. I'm going to start taking some of this stuff, Taz, here, and just kind of getting it out of this pile so we can see what we have. Branches-wise, if there's something we have to trim up a little bit more or anything like that. But I guess this also does leave an opportunity. I don't know if you thought about this, Taz, or what. But we possibly can go ahead and cut this grass, too. Since we're here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, cutting the grass will make finding the stumps easier.
Exactly. Exactly. Am I able to pick this up? This is a 400. How is that possible? That branch is 400. Doesn't make any sense. You know, I was running into this same issue. I think it was on Calmstead, where I'm taking little tiny chunks of branch or whatever the heck it is, and because of some sort of collisions or things that were happening like that, the branch was actually really, really large. And I wasn't even, like, this particular piece that I was holding in my hands, I was running into where I was actually cutting pieces off. This particular piece ended up being 500-600 kilograms. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Sometimes it goes funny with the collisions of the tree when you're cutting them down.
Oh, shoot. I find it more with, especially with the decorative trees, not so much with, like, your standard... I mean, see, like that right there, how that's sitting up there, there's some sort of collision on there that's not allowing things to work, and that's what we're running into. And the invisible parts actually add weight. I don't know how that's right, but I'm not going to complain too much about it, at least. It's just a matter of finding where all these spots are. What just happened there? Okay. Ugh. I'm a fan of doing forestry. It took me a long time to get myself into that boat of being a fan of the forestry. I'm not a fan of doing forestry on decorative trees, placeable trees, things like that. I'm more of a fan of doing it on the trees that are normally associated with it, like the ones you can go ahead and plant here in the game. Not necessarily the ones that you can place for decoration. Those you tend to have a lot of issues like this with that. Or at least that's what I've come to the conclusion with. I don't know about you, Taz, but I think you've done a little bit more forestry than I have. Oops.
I guess the trailer will gonna fill up a lot faster than we thought.
Yeah. Maybe. Taz, I don't know. Do you know if there's any, like, mobile chipping stations or anything like that? That might be a potentially better way to go with all of this. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about that? Are you okay going about doing this, or would you rather chip?
Wanna do wood chips?
I don't care. I don't. It doesn't matter to me. I just
There's
know.
of stuff that takes PTO power, but it needs 200 horsepower. There's one. Just give me a second.
Okay.
There's one. The self-propelled one. Jan's hammer.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, guys, why don't you give us a couple minutes? We're going to go ahead and look around, see what we can find. We're either going to come back to you and we'll be still trying to tackle these trees just like this, or we may be doing something slightly different. I don't know, but don't go anywhere, because this is either going to blow up in our face or it's going to be a huge success. I don't know. Alright, guys, so we have gotten ourselves a solution. And that solution is this bad mamma jamma. Now, I have to go ahead and take just a second here and walk you around and just kind of show you that, you know, the trees are standing back up. Well, what unfortunately had happened here, right in the middle of us showing you what we're doing here, my PC turned off, and we're doing a multiplayer through my PC right now, so that meant everything stopped. We lost our progress, everything went right down the drain, so very, very unfortunate. So I'll try and get you speed up, or back up to speed. We decided we were going to go with this little bad mamma jamma here, and it is not cheap by any means, not cheap at all, but we did not, I repeat, we did not buy this thing. This thing is $660,000, I think. Let's see if we can find this thing on here now. The Gens HEM 922 DQ Cobra Hybrid. Oh man, it's like poetry. At least that's what I think. I don't know. 1,322 horsepower to that little bad mamma jamma. Now, the reason why we ended up going with this guy, we're leasing it for $33,000, I think it is. The reason why we're going with this thing here is because I've never used it. Taz has never used it. So we figure, you know, what the heck? Let's go ahead and do this. Let's make some wood chips. It's part of the base game. And myself personally, I like to at least give the base game stuff a shot and kind of go from there and see how it all works. It does work out to be pretty darn slick. It's kind of efficient. Now, one thing that you guys are never going to be able to see because the file got corrupted, I can't do anything about it, the video file, is what Taz is doing right there. We tried to do that with the whole tree, and as you can see, it doesn't go in very well with the branches. It kind of gets bogged down. If you can imagine that, yeah, that's exactly what ended up happening. It just gets bogged down, so by actually having my PC completely, well, wet the bed, it actually helped us out quite a bit, because we've gone through this process once already and realized there's ways to go about doing it and ways not to go about doing it that makes it slightly more efficient. One way to make it slightly more efficient is to cut all of these branches off before we actually stick it in there. You want to lower that back down? I might be able to get those branches off for us here.
I think I broke it.
Oh no.
Oh, that's better.
There we go. Now we can give it a shot. Oh, money in the bank. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. That's pretty cool. Yep. It's gonna end up
kind of thing of getting used to the controls of that arm.
Yeah. I can almost assume it, just like with the other standard tree harvesters you got, like the Scorpion or the Ponzi or whatever the heck they're all called. I can't keep track of all. There's a blue one, there's a red one, there's a yellow one, and they cut trees down pretty efficiently. It's just a matter of getting used to doing all that sort of stuff too, especially if you're not used to it. Myself personally, when I'm playing with forestry equipment and stuff like that, it takes me a little bit to get myself into the swing of things, and I think I'm just making a mess. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm working very safely.
I know, that's what I was just gonna say.
Jumping on working conveyor belt.
There we go, right by a cow. What do we do, Taz?
I guess we should turn off the super strength.
Oh, we had the super strength then? Okay, stand by, everyone.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, thank you for being patient, guys. Yeah, sometimes Taz and I, we really try not to use super strength or anything like that. But for us, we go ahead, and I think the primary way we go about using it is for getting stuff for the grapes, like our little cultivator and our little mulcher for doing grapes and olives, into the back of the pickup truck and haul it around. Other than that, if we're having to do some sort of setup, maybe something like that, we'll use it. But for the most part, I don't know about you, Taz, I'm not necessarily a big fan of wanting to do that. How about you?
No, I barely use it.
Yeah.
It's just the thing that don't have other choice.
So get in there. There we go.
Yeah,
Now it's starting
works
to
better
go.
with bigger stuff than small branches.
Yeah. Come on. It's saying it's there, but it's just not letting it happen. Well, what are you gonna do? Yeah, this is kind of how we're gonna go about doing this. I figure why not? Might as well. It's a little bit. Gosh, no, I'm stuck. Ugh. I don't know. Am I holding that branch or are you? That's got to be you. That can't be me. I think my branch is the one that's stuck here on the ground. I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to run over here for a second. Let all my triggers just go away. So, like I said, guys, this is pretty neat. I've never used this thing before. It seems pretty cool. It seems like it's pretty darn efficient. And if you have a map that has wood chips that are a really great price, I mean, I can understand how you could, well, make a ton of money off of using this thing. It's like a lot of the things that are on the game here. Yes, the stuff can be expensive. Yes, the stuff usually is expensive. Take cotton-related items. The cotton harvester, very, very expensive. You make a lot of money off of it. Same thing with sugarcane. Very, very expensive. Make a lot of money off of it. So it all does kind of make sense in the long run and how you want to go about doing a lot of this stuff. At least it makes sense to me. All right. We going and relocating, Taz?
Yeah. Let's cut the next tree.
I'm getting away from that. That thing looks like it's going to blow up. The trees over there were looking awfully possessed, Taz. The ones that were still in the... Yeah, it's a quaking.
Oh, the ones in the chipper?
Yeah, they're not liking it. Not too much. So I think I'm going to go ahead, guys. We're going to keep on doing this. I'm going to stand directly underneath this tree and cut off all the supports. So wish me luck. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't know. But we'll go ahead. We'll bring you back in here after a little while. See what the finished product looks like. I think we should. I think we should. We can't keep it to ourselves. Should work. I think. Oh, yeah. I'm a lumberjack, and it's okay. Oh, man. Name that reference, please. Somebody help me out. Oh, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, we've been really kind of pounding through this. It's kind of been a struggle. Unfortunately, because of these being decorative trees, there's a lot of, what are they, Taz? The boundaries?
The collisions.
Collisions, that's it. There's a lot of collisions on these decorative trees. The collisions help keep these trees very, very nice looking. They're allowed to change colors, go from having no leaves to having just a
No,
tons
collisions
of trees.
makes just trees to be have a like a body that you're not gonna go through.
Exactly, that's what I was getting at. You have all these other little things on here to be able to compensate for the leaves, snow, all that stuff. So, like Taz was saying, you can't physically go through them. It's been kicking our butt. We've had to do a combination of using a little bit of super strength and cutting branches and taking it off, just to sort through this mess. I'm not proud of having to use super strength, but it's our best option for moving forward. It really is, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do, we actually have a full load here. I'm going to go ahead and take this off really quick, get this hammered out. We've already rolled over 1 hour on this thing. which is fine and dandy, and it's not that big of a deal, but the leasing cost for an extra hour, I think, was it 13,000 Taz, or was it 14,000?
Yeah, it's a bit of 13,000.
Okay, so $13,000 because we've gone over on the 1 hour. Currently, rough estimates, I'm not going to do hardcore math on this one. We're right about 12,000 we've made off doing wood chips so far. Now, there are 2 locations that actually have pretty good prices. Well, 2 of the best locations. Panhandle, which is giving us $100 more per 1,000 liters. Or this place that we're actually going to, which is less. Landhandle is way on the other side of the map. It takes a long time to actually get there. It gets me away from helping Taz or being able to load stuff up. Anything. It's a time-consuming trip. This one here, much closer. Makes a lot of sense. But you might be asking yourself, well, why don't you just do that? Go to the other location, you get more money. Yeah, we would be making more money. We'd be able to cover our costs a lot easier. The problem is neither Taz's tractor or my tractor with a full load can actually make it up. And it wasn't even a full load that we went up the hill with. I think it was right around 80%, and we couldn't do it. I actually had to take Taz's, when I was going with Taz's tractor, the more powerful of the 2, I actually got everything up to 0 miles an hour, rocking and rolling, doing everything we can. I'll write that down, because I want to give you guys at least a total of what we've done. And I couldn't do it, so I actually cranked the wheel as hard as I could, turned the tires, drove off the road, through the woods, just to be able to get some sort of traction to be able to get up that hill. And we were able to make 1 delivery at Landhandle, and the second time we tried going that way, it's just like, you know what, let's not do it. It's not even worth it. Let's just go to the place that's closer. It is what it is. We made the choice, we made the call to try something that we haven't done before, and that's kind of what we're going for on this. Try stuff we're not really used to, trying out new mods, doing different things, and in this case, it's a base game item that neither one of us has used before, so I think that still falls underneath that category of things that are new, that we can try, things that we can do. Kaz has actually got really, really good at this. We found out from time to time this gets bogged down. Just get out of the way there for a second. We found that thing does get bogged down from time to time, and we gotta actually get out and use a chainsaw and cut a little bit, which might be at that spot right here. I think we're getting stuck on these sticks, branches. So we have to come along and do this from time to time to kind of help get this thing through movements. Because otherwise, like I said, it just gets bogged down too much. But all in all, I'd have to say, maybe Taz might see differently on this. If you were going to be going ahead and doing like forestry as a #1 thing, it's what you're doing. Having one of these to go ahead and grind your trees up and to make wood chips, especially if chip prices are really, really high, I think it'd be worth to buy this. Long term. Short term leasing, though, I don't really think so. What do you think about that, Taz? Do you think that's kind of a... Do you think that makes sense, or do you think that not even getting that makes a ton of sense?
Yeah, that makes sense for me.
Okay. Let's see if we can try and push this. Is the other trailer full already? Let's see.
What?
Yeah. One trailer's full already. I guess that's what happens when there's slightly different prices. Or not prices, it's not letting me cut. Oh well, it is what it is. Alright, I'll hop back in here and take this over. Yeah, so...
Yeah, so the collision is the thing that makes it, like, you have a physical boundaries of the item.
Okay.
It doesn't have anything to do with the visual stuff.
It doesn't have anything to do with the visual stuff. Okay, so in other words, guys, I've lied to you yet again. Hopefully you forgive me, but if you can't, I understand. No one likes a liar.
You know, I couldn't let it through being a mod maker
Okay.
and having understanding what it is.
Yeah, I was always under the impression that I do know the collisions, and the way I go ahead and look at it, for each one of these leaves up here or whatever, there's essentially a block around it, that one particular leaf. So each one of these leaves has its own block around it, and then the block, you add all these blocks together and you have like a bunch of blocks around it. That's kind of what the collision is, like the boundaries around things. I don't know if that's a right way of thinking about it. I don't know.
It might be, but making the collision for every leaf would make the performance of the game to suffer.
Sure. So
So
instead
it's
of
made more on a texture other than making all the physical material appearing on. Yeah, kind of trying to be smart, but not happening at all.
Sure. So instead of going ahead and having it around each and individual leaf, essentially there's just, okay, you put that tree down and there are parameters around this, dimensions around this, blocks around this that block certain activities from being able to run into it, or from ruining your day if there's a tree that's right across the field that you're trying to harvest. Makes sense.
Yeah, that would make more sense. So, like when you have the branch or the log staying up above the bottom of the trailer or the ground, it's just the collision that goes over the visual part of the tree.
Good. So this is kind of how we've been going about doing this for the most part. Obviously, unless I'm running stuff off.
Yeah, we've been working on a running conveyor and wood chipper.
There we go. Yikes! All right. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what we've been doing. We've been tangling with trees here on this one, and I'm not entirely sure who's winning. I know I'm not. Taz might be breaking even, if not succeeding. But I definitely know that I should think this way. Well, this is the other thing. I try and be a good teammate, but I just keep getting in the way. I'm hoping one of these days that'll kind of change course here. Maybe we'll make amends. But I'm not going to hold my breath. So we're actually getting pretty close to that. We got, I think, one more tree. Is that correct, Taz? That we're looking at getting down?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. All right, well, I think we're almost done with that one, so I'm going to unload this one. Otherwise, we'll start on a new tree. Other trailer fills up too quick, and then we end up running into problems. So I'm going to catch you in a little bit, Taz, and you guys, we'll probably catch you after all this is done and we're getting stuff set up for how everything's going to look in the future. I'll just kind of follow behind you here. And here we go. I'm not sure how this looks, oops, to you guys out there. You might be telling yourself, boy, that's just silly. And I'd have to say, you know what, you're right. This is silly, but you know what? It's kind of neat. It's kind of fun.
Hey.
Find your way. Give Taz just a little bit more space. Can't get so tired out of him. This was actually getting a little rough. This was actually something that was brought up by Taz. That would be kind of fun. Maybe it's like a punishment or something for us and all that. I don't know. This seems like it's going to be a lot of work. But you know what? It's not too bad. It's not too bad. These little super tigers, they're I don't know. I like them. I really do like them. They are pretty darn slick. And this is all actually working out way better than I originally had thought. I I thought I was going to have a lot of problems staying straight, following Taz, doing the things that need to be done, but it actually seems like it's working out pretty darn slick. Now, I don't know about you, Taz. I think I would have a hard time convincing myself of doing this on a very large field. But this little one that we got right here, I think it's pretty darn good. Look at that. Look at that. The tiger, when you go ahead and turn the lights on, it looks like he's opening his eyes. Oh. Oh, man. Yeah, I think that'll work out okay, I think. Did you want to reverse course?
Yeah.
Sounds good. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do with this stuff here, guys, we're going to end up making some silage out of this.
And, you know, we should try not making very thick windrows
Yes.
out of it.
I'm going to wait here. Yeah, I'm going to wait here for a second, because otherwise, I think what we need to do, Taz, when we go ahead and do that, one of us goes out just a little bit further and the other one comes in. Because I guess it doesn't really matter too much. Yeah, I don't think it matters too much. The problem we were having before with the baler, what Taz was talking about, is that the pile here was just getting to be just a hair too much for our baler to actually pick up. The pile got too wide and it was just struggling to do anything. So we're going to try making slightly smaller piles, windrows, columns. I don't know, what do you want to call it? Snakes on the ground? Not too sure. Taz, get around here and then I'll follow him wherever he wants me to go. Just like that. Or I guess I should just get out of the way too. That's part of the issue. I'm just trying to be a good teammate, and as Taz has found out, as Taz has found out over the course of, I should not even put that up. There we go. As Taz has found out over the course of, well, this episode here, I'm not the world's best teammate. There are some things that I say that may or may not be accurate. I try and be as accurate as I can, but, well, it's not true. It's just not true. But regardless of that, I'm still having fun. It's in the rain. It's late in the day. We've had issues with the trees. The tangling that we've done has been more... Well, it wasn't tangle-free. You know how you get that shampoo that's like tangle-free shampoo? Well, this was like tangle-engaged shampoo that we were dealing with today. Because the trees, they were not fun. The issue we had earlier on with things not working out right for us, that was not fun. Oh, man. But you know what was fun? It's still the fact that we're able to get out here, rock and roll together, hanging out, learning things, enjoying each other's company, telling each other stories, lots and lots of fun. I'm getting tons of fun out of this. Maybe not necessarily all the issues that we ran into, but definitely this is fun. And you know what else would be fun, guys? Is if you guys go ahead and smash that like button to help us out. I think Taz would appreciate it. I know I would. Go ahead and hit that subscription too. It really does help the channel out. It might not seem like it, especially with all this mess that I'm creating. It really doesn't seem like it, but it really does. Go ahead and share this with somebody that you like or don't like, somebody that you might want to team up with. Hit that notification bell, have it set to on, and all that way you know. And this and other great videos are coming out by myself and hopefully with Taz involved as well. Guys, until we see you the next time, myself and Taz, thanks for stopping by. Alright, Taz, I think I'll go grab that baler.
Okay.